What's up, guys? It's your boy Stevie G coming back at you with another episode of the Seamless Garage podcast. If you're new to this channel, we just talk about everything automotive related, man. Like everything, anything automotive related, anything mechanical, anything like that. When it comes to cars, dude, that's what we talk about. So, welcome to the channel if you're new yet again. Let me break it down for you. My name is Stevie Gilliland. Go by Stevie G. I am a master technician, ASC certified, Nissan master technician as well. I'm now a shop foreman for the dealership I'm working for currently. I've been in the field, like actually professionally, for 12 years, okay? But I've been turning wrenches since I was like 5, and that's like no cap, like seriously turning wrenches since I was 5. So got quite a few years of experience under my belt. Been doing it for a while, so I've been in the game for a little bit. Okay, not as long as some of you guys, but I've been in the game for a little bit. So, um, with that being said, we've got 4 different types of content that we do on this channel as far as the podcast goes. And let's start with the first one, which is from apprentice to master, which is what this episode is going to be, about, is from apprentice to master. With this segment, it's all about it doesn't matter where you are in the career path or in the path flow trying to become a master technician. Doesn't matter if you're an apprentice, doesn't matter if you're mid-level, doesn't matter if you are a master. I'm going to give you advice on how to become better, how to flag more hours, how to do a better job, how to not have comebacks. Pretty much everything in that area that we can work on together and improve. Okay. The other segment is called Shop Talk, and basically what that's going to be is a random topic in the automotive industry or in fabrication of cars or in car news or just random stuff like that. Anything that's on my mind, I'm just going to, talk about it and just kind of discuss how I feel about that particular topic or whatever that might be. Or it might be little tips on, little bitty tidbits on things that might help you mindset wise or something like that. Okay. The next segment would be auto news, is what we're calling it, and that's anytime any kind of news pops off in the automotive industry, whether it be new cars. Or new technology or new tools or whatever. I'm gonna give you the whole full story on it, and then I'm gonna give you my thoughts on what I think it means or what I think it means to the industry, and kind of that background there. And then the last one is called direct port, which is interviews. I'm gonna be interviewing people in the field in general. So, you know, master technicians, beginners, apprentices, even lube rack guys. All these, they'll have great questions that I can answer, or they'll have great info and advice for you guys that you may not have heard that it might help you. Um, Parts guys, service directors, service managers, service writers, maybe even some GMs at some dealerships, maybe. Fabrication guys that own their own shops, guys that build project cars. Just anybody in the field that I think might be able to bring some value to you and that you might be able to get something out of the content. So that being said, that's the 4. Um, and again, if you want to support the channel, if you would like us to do more cool things, the best way to do that is to hop on the seamlessgarage.myshopify.com, and you can get cool shirts like this. You can get cool hats like this. There's a bunch of different hats on there and shirts. We get the new Everything Full Throttle shirt out. Be on the lookout for the white version of that with the green and black lettering. That's coming out very soon. But for now, we've got the black with the white letters on it. But that would be the best way to support us. But with that being said, let's hop into this episode of From Apprentice to Master. Alright, guys, in this episode, I want to talk about building clientele as a technician, as a mechanic. Okay? And it doesn't really matter how long you've been in the field. Doesn't matter if you just hopped over there. This is something great to think about and something great you can start doing. And you need to continue to do it throughout your whole career. It's very important. If you're a master technician, this is still something that could definitely apply to you. and something that you should try doing if you're not doing it already. All right. With that being said, like I said, building clientele, I think it's huge. I think it's a very forgotten about part of the field. I think it's something that is missed. That is very important. I think it's something that they used to do back in the day that we just kind of let the writers do their part, right? The service advisors do their part, and let dispatch do their part, and hopefully we get enough tickets, and hopefully we get, there's a disconnect now between the customer and the mechanic. And I've heard some newer guys in the field, or maybe they're not newer, but just some guys in the field now, that they're usually managers and stuff like that believe that the technician should never speak with the customer. Like, I don't know why that is. Is it because we're dirty? Is it because we don't know how to speak to customers? Is it because we're going to be rude? Or they're afraid we're going to run them off? Or what is that? Now, I understand the service writer is a professional in dealing with customers. I understand that. However, when you go to the doctor's office, you want to talk to that doctor. You want to hear from the horse's mouth. And usually, most of the time, if that doctor tells you something, you pretty much take it for gospel, right? Whereas if the nurse tells you, you're like, can I hear from the doctor, please? You know what I mean? And that's kind of how it is with the writer, right? Like, the writer is going to tell you exactly what the doctor said or what the technician said, but they may want to talk to you. So, for some reason, there's this disconnect. And so, building this clientele could be harder than it used to be back in the day, but it can still be done. And I think it's very important. And I think if you're able to establish that connection and that relationship with your customers again, that you will see the customer retention just go straight up, man. Like, you'll build customer retention like no other, okay? Which is a great thing, because then you don't have to worry about building new customers. They'll come in word of mouth, and it's all downhill from there. I mean, it's a great thing all the way around. People aren't listening to me enough about this topic, but I guarantee you, if people implement this, it will change the game for them. Absolutely. This one is a fire one. All right, so listen closely. So, first off, I want to talk about why you should build clientele. I think I told you quite a bit just now, right? But the main thing is retaining customers personally for yourself, so that you will have customers that come back in, right? That's what retention is. Reoccurring customers that come back in and they ask for you. That's what I mean by customer retention. That's what I mean by building clientele. What I mean by building clientele is they're going to come in from there on out, and they're going to ask for you personally. They want you touching their car. They don't come in and don't care. They want, a lot of customers do, but I'm saying it's because they don't have a relationship with the technician. Don't even know who looked at their car last. Like, they don't know who looked at their car last. So they have no clue, nor do they probably care, okay? But they would if they were able to build a relationship with you, because then they're going to be like, all right, Stevie knows my car. He knows what happened last time. He did a really great job. I want it to go back to him. And that's where you get it. Again, going back to the doctor example. Do you just go to any random old doctor? You just set up an appointment and they pick the doctor for you? Or do you go to the same doctor every time unless they mess up, right? Like, you always go to the same doctor. So why isn't it like that with your car? That way, that one technician has been working with your car from day one, and they know everything about it, and they're going to do a better job just because they know the whole story behind the whole vehicle. They know the customer. They know the whole story, okay? Anyway, as for retaining customers, it takes dispatch out of the equation. This is one of my favorite parts. Now, look, as a shop foreman, I make dispatch as fair as possible, but here's the deal. Fair is just fair. But if I have clientele coming in that's asking for me all the time, dispatch can't give that ticket to somebody else. They have to give it to me. So I'm telling you right now, you take it out of dispatch's hands, and you build your own clientele, and you got customers coming in just for you. They're not coming in for the name on the dealership. They're coming in for you. And so now you got customers that wouldn't be there if it wasn't for you. So now you're also an asset to the dealership, right? Like, you're bringing in customers that may or may not come to the dealership if it wasn't for you, okay? So that's a great feeling to have, all right? And again, and another dispatch aspect is that when times are slow, you can still have work specifically for you. So let's say times are slow and tickets are scarce right now. Not very many customers are coming in. But if they're coming in, they're saying your name, they have to come to you. So even though everybody's starving, you may not starve as much because people are asking for you. And so you don't have to wait until the ticket's given to you. You got customers coming in asking for you, so you're getting those tickets too. So that's great. So hopefully you understand why I think it's important to implement this and start building some clientele. Now I'm going to tell you how to build that clientele. At least I'm going to tell you 4 ways that I think you can build it. We're going to start with the most obvious and the most easiest way that I think you can do it, okay? And that's going to be simply by doing quality work. Sometimes, a lot of times actually, if you do a really good job and a customer is really impressed, like you went above and beyond and it's very clear that you are really good at what you do and the job was done right and it was very clean and they couldn't even tell that you even touched the vehicle because it's just repaired, that's all they know, it's a great sign. And sometimes, nowadays it's not as much, like I said, it's less personable, but it should be. They could come and ask for your name and go, hey, who worked on my vehicle? Because I think I want them to do it next time because they did such a good job. So there's a way you can build it that way simply by doing quality work. I wouldn't, always do quality work, but I wouldn't completely rely on that to build a clientele. But that's a good way to get started, all right? The next way is going to be taking the oddball jobs that other people wouldn't take, like other technicians will not take, or they kind of complain about. I'm meaning, older cars that are obscure that may come in, or cars that are undesirable to work on, or, just any kind of one-off car or anything like that, or maybe something that was really hard to diagnose. You might impress people. I built clientele from impressing people because they're like, hey, this car has been in 3 different shops. Can y'all diagnose it? And I diagnose it, and they're like, wow, this guy really knows what he's doing. And I've had customers like that go to management and go, hey, don't run this guy off because he really knows what he's doing. Like, I don't know if you know what you got, but this guy's really good. And I've earned customers that way. I've earned some used car sales places and like some flippers. I'll earn their business where they come in and they want me to specifically look at their car. Because sometimes they come in with some tricky diagnosis that nobody else could figure out. So now they don't go to those other shops and waste their money. They just come straight to me. So that's a great way to build clientele. I'll tell you a couple of stories. One of them is a 280Z that comes in now at the dealership that I'm at now. I've been there 10 years. There's a gold 280Z that comes in, a really cool one, manual and everything, really up my alley. I love those cars. It got sent to me, right? I took it by luck of the draw, I guess, and he needed a window switch, right? Like the windows weren't working and he needed a window switch. Well, you know how hard that's going to be able to find. Obviously they don't make them anymore, so you're not going to be able to buy one. You're going to have to find it used somewhere. Go find a pick and pull lot or something like that, or somebody that's trying to sell one. Well, he came to me and he came to the writer, and he had the writer ask me if there was any way I could fix it. So I came up and talked to him personally, shook his hand, everything like that, and I was like, hey man, I was like, I'm 90% sure I can fix it for you. I was like, let me give it a shot, and I think I know what I can do on it and fix it, and you should be back up and on the road. And really all it was taking it apart and cleaning the contacts, because the contacts got dirty on the switches, and so they weren't making contact to do their job. They weren't transferring power. So I did that, and it was good. And he was ecstatic. He loved it. He was like, man, you really know what you're doing. He's like, you're a young guy, but you really know what you're doing. Like, and you helped me out, and I appreciate you saved me tons of money and heartache. And he's like, from here on out, I'm going to come to you. And it was true. Anytime he comes in, he's asking for me. So that's a really cool one. Another one, there was a 370Z. I don't want to throw anybody on the bus, but a master technician just did a transmission on it. And there was a master tech. He was like a Nissan master for over 20 years. Like, he did it since the Datsun days. But there was a 370Z. He did a manual transmission swap. Maybe he was doing a clutch or something. But anyway, the customer was complaining because it wouldn't go all the way over into the 5th and 6th gate. Like, it was real hard getting into those. and which made it even harder to get it in reverse, right? Um, and the master tech looked at it and was like, nothing's wrong with it. That's normal. Well, I happened to be walking by and heard him talking about it, and I was like, hey, let me look at it and give it a shot, right? I already in my head knew what was going on with it. Anyway, it ended up being the little shift gate was moved over some on those Z's and stuff. There's a gate there that helps lock out the reverse. That way you have to push down to get into reverse. It was moved over some, so it was really hard to get into fifth and sixth, like it was kind of blocking it. Anyway, the customer knew about it and was like, whoever that is, that wasn't my technician, but whoever that is, I want him working on my car from here on out. And same thing with that guy. Anytime he comes in, he wants me working on his car because I know what I'm doing. And I'm interested in, I love that kind of stuff. Like, I want to fix the car right, and I want to do a good job. I don't want to just make money off the deal. I want to do a good job. Like, I enjoy what I do. I love what I do. So anyway, dude, I'm telling you, that's ways to build clientele. Those are just 2 ways. I got 2 more for you. This one, I got advice from a technician that had been in the field for a long time, but I never took it, okay? It was always in the back of my head, but I never actually went out and took the initiative. Give it a shot. I think it'll work for you. It sounds like a great idea. He said it worked for him like crazy, okay? And here's what it is. At the bare minimum, have business cards made. They're real cheap to make, $500 to $1,000 at a time. Have business cards made, okay? And have them with your name on it, and your status and everything, and what dealer you're at, so they don't forget. And put it in the cup holder when you're done with the repair, and ship it up to the front after it's been washed and everything. And a lot of times they'll see it in their cup holder, and then we'll remind them, and they're gonna save it. And when they come back, they're gonna go, hey, this was my technician. He did a really great job. Can I have him look at it again? Because now they know you by name. They may not know you personally, but they know you by name, and they know that you did a good job. You better have done a good job. Do not stick your business card in there if you did some kind of half-assed job, because they're going to pull that name out and hit the service manager with it and go, hey, Stevie messed this up bad. Like, I don't like, and then it's the other way around. They're like, I want anybody but that guy working on it. Don't let Stevie work on it at all. And here's the deal. More, how we build clientele, and we're talking about building clientele. I see less of that happening and more of, hey, don't let this technician touch the vehicle. That's a bad sign, though. How do they only know your name when you didn't do a good job? That's a bad sign. So you need to start making sure you're doing a great job on it, and they know you by name because they know that you're going to do a good job, okay, and that you did a good job. So stick that business card in there with your name on it. Take it one step further. There's a study on this. I'm not going to go deep into it, but just do it. Staple a little really cheap peppermint to the card. It changes the game. It will level you up. Trust me. Just look into it. There's actually a study on it a college did with some tips and waiters and waitresses, I think, with some mints. But just think about it. Staple that to there so that they can remember you and they'll come back and ask for you, okay? And then the last thing I'll say is introducing yourself to the customer. Now, you're not going to have time to do this all the time, okay? But if it's a real intricate car or something that you really had to dig into, and now you know the car well, you might explain it to the customer better than the rider would be able to, because you were back there hands-on and you knew what you had to go through. So just introducing yourself might change the game for them. If it's a problem they've had for a while and you finally were able to fix it, it might really impress them, and they might want to come back and deal with you, okay? They might feel more comfortable with you if you approach them, right? Some won't, but try doing that. There's a couple ways you can do that, okay? Like, not all dealerships and not all shops in general have what I'm fixing to say, but a lot of modern day shops these days have a video service where they do the multi-point over video and show you what all is wrong with the car, and, oil leaks and all kind of stuff like that visually. Here's the thing I did. I changed the game. I snuck in there myself. I would turn it on me. A lot of guys are shy, and I get it. A lot of guys are camera shy. I was too before I started my podcast. Now I don't care, right? I want you to know who I am. Anyway, I would start the video up on my phone, and I would turn around, and I would point at me, and I'd go, hey, This is Stevie Gillen, the master technician working on your vehicle today. I would literally say the master technician. Like there ain't nothing, like there ain't nobody else in the shop that's a master, right? I would just point that out. The master technician working on your vehicle today. So I would put my face on there, my name, my status, everything. So like everybody got my videos and knew who I was, okay? And if you do, like I said, it all goes back to you doing a good job, though. You're not going to build clientele if you don't do a good job. It's going to be the opposite. If you do a bad job, they're going to be like, oh, who was that guy on that video? Yeah, don't give me him again. He's terrible. Luckily, I've never had that happen that I know about. But yeah, so anyway, that's 4 ways. I'll just go ahead and rattle them off again. Do a good job. That's kind of a passive way. Taking those oddball jobs, those jobs that other people don't want to do, or some really heavy diag or things like that. That's another way. Leaving business cards and a mint inside the cup holder when you get done with the job and it's shipped up front. And then 4 is introducing yourself to the customer some way, somehow. If you got a video service, I'm telling you, do it every time. If you don't, maybe it's just on those ones that are difficult that you really spend some time on, and you could get yourself in the door, get your foot in the door simply by going and explaining to them what you did to their vehicle. Okay? So that's the 4 ways to do it. This last little thing I wanted to make this video short. I just wanted to get to the point. That way you can go and take action. I implore you to go and take action and do this. I'm telling you that you got to build clientele. Don't leave it up to the dispatchers. Don't leave it up to the dealership. Leave it up to you and word of mouth of your name. That way you have customers coming in all the time. Anyway, so I want to leave you with these last comments. It's a fact. It's a known fact. Keeping customers is much easier than finding new ones. So don't burn bridges. Do not burn bridges. It is so much harder to get a customer to come back after they've had a bad experience. So always give them a good experience. Try to keep them coming back. Try to keep that retention going. And try to get your name out there so they're coming for you. That's all I can say. That's all I can say is build a name for yourself while building a name for the dealership or the shop, or if you own a shop, the same thing. You know what I mean? Building a name for that, but you're also building a name for yourself. Okay? There was something else I was going to say. Oh, the thing. One more thing. Sorry, I missed this bullet point, but it's important. Another good thing about building clientele is that you may be able to take it with you, depending on the brand and depending on that and warranty stuff, all that little stuff. But other than that, they may have different vehicles too that they can use you for. But you can take those with you if you decide to change shops, or if you decide to open up your own shop. You can bring these customers with you. Okay. Especially if you do the business card, I'm saying, because you can put your number on there. If you want to, you can put your cell phone number on there. Be careful, though. You might have customers calling you talking about some crazy stuff, but you can take these customers with you if you build a clientele. Not only that, it opens up the door for you to do side work for these customers, right? I'm not pushing side work as a good thing, especially if you work in a dealership or another shop. You're kind of taking food out of the mouth of the dealership or the shop that kind of fed you to begin with. But I'm just saying it may be a way, like if you move out on your own or you have your own shop, you may be able to bring those customers with you because you do good business and you do good work. Okay? But with that being said, please apply this stuff. Please give it a shot. Just seriously give it a shot. I'm telling you, it's going to change the game for you. I hope that you apply it. Let me know how it goes. But with that being said, what do you think about this? Have you tried any of this before? Are you going to try it? Do you have any questions? Do you have any advice? Comment below if you're on the YouTube channel. Jump in the discussion. We got a Discord. Okay, the link is below if you're on YouTube. The link is also below on Spotify and some of the other platforms in the description. Click on that. Join our Discord. That way we get more gearheads in there talking good stuff about their cars and about, tips on how to be a better mechanic. All that good stuff, man. We can talk about the videos in there as well. I'm on there. Let's stay active. Let's get it going. Subscribe if you like this info. If you think this might help, please subscribe and like the video if you think it'll help you. Share it with somebody that you think it will help. If you're already doing this stuff, share it with somebody else and be like, see, man, I've been telling you to do this. All right? But subscribe so you can get more of this info, and it should help you. I guarantee you, if you do it, it'll help you. And again, there's a link in the description below if you're on YouTube or on Spotify, to our website if you want to go pick up some sick merch. Okay, that'll really help us out, in the long run, and we really do appreciate it. But with that being said, it's been your boy Stevie G. This is the Seamless Garage, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.